Well, hello again, brothers and sisters in Christ. Pastor Mike here. Uh, Another midweek meditation. Midweek is again kind of quotes every now and then. Life happens, and it has been a very interesting week. So it's on Friday that I'm actually recording this. So bear with me. It is a interesting time of year in the church. Soon Lent will be here, but right now we are in this time after Epiphany. And I mentioned we're having all these texts on what they reveal about who Christ is. And our one now is this interesting text for Sunday that is really the old school fishers of men text. Remember that one? Where Jesus goes and he calls the apostles, leave your nets, come follow me. I will have you fishers of men. This is an interesting text because oftentimes we fall into and I'm going to talk about this some on Sunday as well, what this means for us. What this means for us, because this text seems to really, at its heart, be about us, right? About that we are called, we answer the call, we follow Christ, and we, live the life of faith. Yeah, this is key as for Christians to think about those things. What does it mean to follow Christ? And that often becomes the focus. But that can be a mistake because we can take our eyes off the prize. If we start, again, focusing too much on ourselves, we miss what this text says about Jesus. And that's key here. Because when we talk about mission and catching people and reaching out and all of those things, we can often fall into the trap of it's about us. Just like this text. Well, what do we need to do? That we are called, so we're going to do this. That's not the point. The point is the one who calls us. Jesus calls us. Jesus is the one that asks us to do this, that calls us to do it, wants us to do this. And that is important because when we understand who he is and why he calls us, it ceases to be about us and our perspective on it and God's. And that is, I think, the key of the text. What is God about? And what does that mean then for us? And that is who we're talking about here. Epiphany reveals who God is. God is the one who calls us. God is the one who guides us. God is the one who sends us forth to serve. This is this one. God is a God who calls people. And when we get so focused on who is called and not the one doing the calling, we miss the point. I mean, here's a fun example I'll give. I have 3 kids. Maybe you know they're not. There are certain points in time I'll holler for one of the kids because I want them to do something. Have you ever had this as a parent where you're like, hey, so-and-so, come here. Another one peeks around the corner. Like, you call me? It's like, no, I didn't call you. I called that one. Okay, is there a reason you didn't call me? Like, what'd you call that one to do? Because maybe I could do it better. Or maybe it's something that I don't want to do. And they get caught up in all these things and not realizing that I know what I'm doing. I'm asking somebody to do something specific. Maybe I don't want them to do the best job. Maybe I want them to learn something. Maybe there's something about it that I think a sub part of it that's really important that they're really good at, and that's their gift. Over and over again, when I call and I ask one of my kids to do something, I have good reasons to do it. I understand it. And they can always get hot and bothered about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think that's what God does with us sometimes. God calls us. We get so focused on us, on, well, why am I called? What am I supposed to do? Or even, why did God have called that individual to do something? Why would that person be a pastor there? Or why would I be given this gift to use? I don't think this gift is worth much. But you don't know. The good Lord knows what he is doing. And so, brothers and sisters, I think the joy of this text is understanding that God called those guys for a reason. I often get frustrated that God called Peter because Peter just drives me nuts in the Bible sometimes. Maybe that makes me a horrible pastor, but Peter is just like, you need to calm down, buddy. But the good Lord knew what he was doing. whether or not I appreciate Peter's call, whether or not I fully understand why I'm called to do what I'm called to do. The issue is that always in Epiphany, keep your eyes on the prize. God is calling us. And when we trust that we know that he is calling us, that he knows why he's calling us, and we can look beyond ourselves, our own little issues, and stop peeking around the corners to why that person's doing that, I think we can see and trust in what God is doing. That is my meditation, brothers and sisters in Christ. Hopefully that's some grist for the mill. Hopefully that more is a lens on as we look at maybe our own lives. What is God calling us to do? To broaden it and not have it so crunched into us, and to be able to trust that even if we don't do it perfect, it works for God. All right, I will keep talking, brothers and sisters. Blessings. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.